How to survive play or musical rehearsals. Congrats! You got the part. But now comes the fun part, or not, rehearsals. Depending on your production, you may have 5 weeks to pull off a play, every day, or 3 times a week. Either way, if you've never been in anything more than a church play or the like, grueling rehearsals for a full-fledged production may be daunting. Here's how to survive. Steps. 1. Don't panic. If you've never been in a full-scale production before, you may freak out about learning lines and blocking. Positioning during the performance is called blocking. Don't come into a rehearsal nervous. It will affect your reading, and you will definitely be reading for the first few rehearsals until you get your lines down. Directors and other actors are there to help. They all want to get this show on the road just as much as you, and veteran actors could certainly give you a few pointers if you need as much. 2. Pay attention. In Shakespeare, especially for those who have no experience with the bard, the first few rehearsals will be spent going over common words, helping actors speak the lines as if they are dialogue and not poetry, and other similar things. It's important to pay attention to this. On a similar point, it is absolutely vital that you pay attention during a performance. You must remember when your cues are, and that means listening and watching the play from the stage so you can act on time. Delays in lines and blocking look bad and amateurish from the seats. Paying attention can help you early on, as you learn your lines and do full run-throughs. You need to be on the ball so a 2-hour play doesn't take 4 hours. 3. Ask questions. If you don't understand what your character is feeling, be sure to ask. If your character is nervous or angry, you must read the line as such. Daniel can sound drastically different if read angrily, sadly, or in a surprised tone. It can seem odd during run-throughs and performances for you to be off, and it can throw other actors off. If you can't pronounce a word, take a second to read through it and try to figure it out. If you can't, just ask. It's likely that a fellow actor knows, or at the very least the director will. And if nobody knows, someone usually has a phone on hand to Google it. 4. Dress comfortably. This can be especially vital towards the end of rehearsals, where your cast may be in dire straits and you'll practice until you've gone through the whole play. This is important throughout all the rehearsals, of course, but definitely more useful when you're learning blocking and will be moving around more instead of standing on stage and reading through or sitting and reading through. But look presentable. Dressing comfortably is not an excuse to come to practice all disheveled and wearing your old footy pajamas. Some acceptable items of dress are pajama pants, preferably in solid colors or without cartoon or childish images on them, tank tops layered under loose-fitting shirts, sneakers, like a Converse Chuck Taylor or Rocket Dog, shorts of appropriate length, crop tops, as long as they are layered, sweatshirts or hoodies. Be mindful that it isn't entirely important to look professional. The goal is to be comfortable and able to practice, while still looking presentable. 5. Stay warm. If your show is at a community theater, it's likely that they turn the heating down to save on money. Bring sweatpants and shorts, wearing the shorts under the sweatpants so you can take them off if you get too hot. Wearing a jacket or sweatshirt is also advised, as well as bringing a blanket. The blanket may be more applicable early on, as you may sit and read through in the seats or sit and wait in the seats as others go through various scenes, not necessarily in order. This would give you more time to actually use the blanket, and it in itself is optional. If you're rehearsing in the summer, temperature isn't such a big issue. You can open doors to keep cool, which is what typically happens in an effort to save money. 6. Stay hydrated. Bring a reusable bottle of water, to quell thirst and keep you hydrated, as well as calm your throat. You'll be talking a lot, and some rehearsals can get pretty crazy before the director gets there. Teen actors aren't the most well-behaved, and even adults can run around a theater to blow off a little steam. Water is also great if you're sick and have a sore throat. Plus, if you have the water, you're more likely to drink it. Just try to keep it off stage during run-throughs. 7. Bring food. There's not much worse than a hungry actor. Other than a tired, hungry actor, they're pretty hard to deal with. Pack a snack, like some fries and a few sandwiches to keep the munchies at bay. Keep your food clean, no dripping sauces or cheeses, if at all possible, especially if you'll be eating in the actual theater. Even if you're taking a break and eating in the green room, nobody wants to have a messy green room. Backstage may be your best bet to eat, or if your theater has a downstairs or kitchen, that may be even better. If your theater has a kitchen, store food in there until breaks so you aren't tempted to shove down handfuls of chips while reciting lines. Plus, it's okay to keep your food in the fridge for next time. Just be sure to ask your director and write your name on your food. Hungry actors aren't below snatching snacks. 8. Always bring your script with you. If you got a version printed on white paper before getting an official bound book, keep the white paper one in a bag you take with you or at the theater in case you forget your official script. Forgetting lines happens to the best of us, but stopping every 5 seconds in a particularly moving performance may not be the best for the rest of the cast. And asking over and over "what's my line?" sounds amateurish and unprofessional. Even if you're at the point in the play where no scripts are allowed, it's always nice to have a script to look at during some downtime. 9. Learn your lines. You should know this, but it's worth mentioning. Learning your lines can help you during rehearsals immensely. It's so much easier to rehearse if you know what you're saying. Don't expect to have the whole script memorized in the first week. Just be sure to study your lines for maybe 10 minutes before going to bed or during breaks at school. If you don't go to school, or if you're homeschooled, finish whatever work you may have before throwing yourself into your lines. Lines are important, they're what makes the play. But if you need to be feeding your dog, cat, fish, dragon, kid, or doing homework, that's more important. 10. Listen to your director. Your director is there to direct you. Listen to them. They're in charge of blocking and all that fancy nonsense. They control the play, in a sense. It's not like if they say jump you say how high. You do what they ask, and give feedback. They may not always tell you exactly what to do either, but they are your audience for the time being. If they're brutally honest, that's even better, as much as it may bother you for them to nitpick on your acting. However, they are essentially your boss. 11. Learn blocking. Blocking is simple. It's where you move and what you physically do during a performance. One basic rule is to always have your body face the audience, but look at the character or object you're interacting with. If you're walking, you don't need to face the audience. If you do, you'll most likely look silly. Tips. Make sure you have the correct shoes. Are you a dancer? Do you have to wear character shoes? Be sure that you can actually dance in the shoes you need. Be sure to sleep well nights before practice. Practice can drone on and it can be tempting to doze off. Bring a bag with you, such as a book bag or messenger bag. Pack it with a blanket, a sweatshirt, packed food, gum, a bottle of water, and a book for those really slow times. An MP3 player may be okay, but keep the volume down so you can pay attention. Meet the stage manager and be nice to them.